everybody. Welcome in. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting live here on the Fan Sports Network from the Findlay Hyundai studio. Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Welcome into the show, everybody. On this Tuesday.
Kind of a crazy Tuesday as well. Lots of breaking news going on. You've got the PGA LIV Tour merger. What does that mean? We will go over that here in a little bit. Tons of blowback to Jay Monahan, the PGA commissioner, whatever he's called.
Yeah.
And anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later. But, man, tons of blowback going on right now.
It's been an interesting day. Been an interesting day, to say the least, right?
Yeah.
We are I don't even know where to begin with it all.
Golden Knights in a blowout last night, 7-2.
Yeah, I wore my night shirt today.
Yeah, I see that.
I wore my Golden Knight shirt today. No, with the whole PGA thing, I mean, that's definitely been the breaking news of the day.
Yeah.
And I would say that this is a historic merger for sure. Something that I don't think a lot of people saw coming anytime soon. I think people have talked about it.
Right.
But I don't think anybody knew it was going to be here now. Which has been interesting.
And again, we'll go over some of the player comments. You know, Twitter was blowing up today due to this news. And we'll go over a lot of that stuff. And I'll give you my thoughts, too. I definitely have some thoughts on this. Also, too, Region 10 all-region baseball came out.
Yeah, that's been announced today.
So we'll go over that list as well. Looking it over, I think they got it right.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know what really changes I would make for the most part.
There's a couple of things you might make an argument for, but that's okay.
There's a few.
But other than that, I think they, you know what, I looked at the list, and even my initial reaction was, to the MVP, to the first team all-region, to the second team all-region, to the honorable mentions. I looked at it. I'm like, okay, I was, my first initial reaction. That usually that's the truest, your truest feelings,
right?
And again, when I got it, I was like, okay, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's one of those where you're just like, fair.
Once I started to dissect it a little bit, too. You and I talked a little bit.
Sure.
Earlier today about it. Once you started to dissect it and maybe split some hairs, maybe take this guy off of first team and, replace him with a guy from second team, but, from the same school or what have you. But you know what? That's going to be splitting hairs, and we're not going to get into that today.
No, we're not going to be that picky on it, for sure.
But we will go over the all-region first, second team, and honorable mentions later on this hour.
Yes, we will. Yeah, so still got a lot to cover. I mean, lot to talk about today. It should be a good one. Where do we want to dive into first? I mean, so much to talk about, Mark. And
I think we need to lead off with that PGA LIV Tour.
I mean, I feel like we have to, right?
Yeah.
Because it is the breaking news of the day.
No question about it.
It's the big news of the day. Okay, so yeah, talking about that, let's hop into it a little bit. What are your initial thoughts when you first heard it? When you first... And I assume you're like me, where we were in a group message, and today we got a text basically saying, "Hey, this just happened. This is going down."
I feel as a fan that's probably a little bit more than a casual fan. I was definitely pro PGA Tour.
Sure.
It wasn't many days ago that I was saying, some of the LIV players that performed well in the last major, the PGA, and I was like, even though Brooksy did well, even though Patrick Reed did well, Phil did pretty good the last day during the Masters, none of that had ever got me to go and look at the CW, the network that they play on,
right,
to go and watch LIV Tour. I just didn't. didn't have any ambition to go do that. I was certainly pro PGA. I stood behind them. I stood behind Rory. I stood behind Justin Thomas, Tiger Woods. And, and I'm not even obviously I'm not a player on the PGA Tour. You saw me golf the other day. But no, by no means am I a player on the PGA Tour.
If you're not a player on the PGA Tour, I'm not.
But I feel
I'm not anywhere close.
I got to tell you, I felt betrayed, and I'm not even like I said, I'm not a part of that organization. But just as a fan, I felt betrayed because I have been backing the PGA Tour. I'm not one that passed up $100 million, though. Now, had I passed up $100 million and then they do this, I'll tell you what, I don't know where Rory, Justin, Tiger, Colin Morikawa, Scheffler, Homa, I don't know where their minds are right now. Now, we do have some comments that we'll kind of go over here in a little bit, stuff that they were saying as the news was breaking this morning, but I'll tell you what, just as a fan, I feel betrayed by the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Jay Monahan in particular. They were saying, in fact, I was listening to Maggie and Perloff before our show, and they were saying maybe a dozen people globally on Mother Earth knew last night that this was happening.
Right.
Or in the last few days.
Right.
They kept it so close, in this some sort of inner circle. Like Greg Norman, I don't know what his calling is for LIV Tour, but whether he's commissioner or whatever, he didn't even know. So it
was the people with the money were the ones that knew.
It's the people with the money. And that's what it all comes down to.
That's what makes it frustrating.
Is that money. Yes. And think about it. Earlier this year, the PGA Tour, and I'm going to say uses as the word that I'm going to use. Uses. The PGA Tour uses 911 families, 9/11 families, and to bolster their fans' belief in what they're doing. We're not going to give in to the Saudi Arabia money, the Saudi money. We're not going to give in to that. Their beliefs, their what they do to people, what they do to women.
Yeah.
What they do to homosexuals, what they do to all those kind of people, what they do to American journalists. Okay. So the PGA takes the angle of, well, let's really play to the American emotions. Let's get some 9/11 families. Let's get them involved and really push back the LIV Tour. It worked because I was so pro PGA Tour, and then they go do this. And again, it's all about money. Now, I think the PGA Tour, the reason why I think they caved, and again, I've been listening all day and kind of reading some stuff. I really think that there were some secrets, they didn't want to have to open up their books per se to the nation on whatever they do. And because I think these lawsuits, from LIV players against the PGA Tour, I think their attorneys, the PGA attorneys, were saying, hey, we're going to lose this battle here, but we might win the war still. I don't even think the PGA wanted to lose battles. And I think one of those battles they were going to have to lose is opening up their books and showing the world, showing the nation, how they pay out, how much people get paid, how much other people get paid or what have you. I don't know. But I think that the PGA wanted to keep those secrets secret.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of.
I think so too.
I think
so too.
I think LIV Tour, Caden, in my mind, because they were getting no traction with their viewership or anything.
They saw that it wasn't going anywhere. They're not going to bring money in based off of their sponsorship deals and from viewers and any of that kind of stuff. They weren't getting money in from that.
And if you think about it, all of the news about LIV Tour and the players, it wasn't about who won in Oklahoma City last week or who won, what team, the Four Aces or the Fireballs or whatever. That was never, ever the news coming from the LIV Tour camp, okay? The news coming from LIV Tour was always the controversy. It was never about their golf. Can you think off the top of your head, Caden, a news report from ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, NBC Sports, SI.com? Can you think of any story that you've ran across that said, this is who won, this is how it played out? I
can only think of one thing that had to do with the actual golf itself.
Right.
It was because not Brooks Koepka, the other Koepka, hit a hole in one. That was it. That's the only thing I can think of that's golf related.
Yeah. Wait, there's another Koepka?
Yeah, there's another Koepka.
Really?
Connor or something? I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't follow LIV golf.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying is you just never heard the golf stories out of LIV. The only thing that we would ever hear about LIV golf is the controversy. LIV versus PGA. PGA versus LIV. That's all we would ever hear about.
Chase was his name. Chase Koepka.
Chase Koepka, really? Okay. I really think that, I don't know how deep those Saudi pockets are. I think they're pretty darn deep. But I got to think within a year, 2 years, 3 years tops, LIV goes away on its own. As far as, because even though you got the deepest pockets in maybe the world,
it's out of sight, out of mind.
You still have to have some revenue coming in. You can't continue to dish out 150 here, 150 million here, 150 million here, and not have revenue coming in.
Sure.
So I don't know. It's hard for me to really swallow. Again, not a lot of details have come out.
No, but you speak of details, so let's go over it. Today I had the Golf Channel pulled up and was just kind of watching what they had to say on it as part of their breaking news. So they gave out a bullet point list of what they know so far.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to go over that list with you real quick.
Okay.
And then we can kind of go over it based off the points. So first point is PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and PIF, or LIV Golf, to combine commercial operations. We know that. That's obviously exactly what we're talking about. Mission, to unify the game of golf on a global basis. Obviously, right? That's their point. So as of right now, all of these bullet points, nothing that we don't already kind of understand from just the title of they coming together. Yeah, we got that. New collectively owned for-profit entity name TBD. So in other words, this is all going to be under one big umbrella. What's the name of it? Who knows? We might not be talking specifically. Yes, we're still always going to have the PGA Tour, but it's going to be the PGA Tour part of the blah, blah, blah organization. It could be something like that.
Yeah.
We just don't know what that name's going to be yet. Now, the PIF, or LIV Golf, will make capital investment into new entity to facilitate its growth, meaning LIV's the one with all the cash, and which is so funny to me because we talk about where's this cash come from? Who are the people behind the cash here? Well, basically, PGA is just saying, you know what, we really do kind of want that money.
Right.
At the end of the day, we do want it. So they're the ones that are putting in all of the money for this growth. The PGA Tour will remain as a 501c tax-exempt organization. They still remain a charitable organization.
Right.
So they can still not, you don't have to pay taxes and stuff when you're not making money as a tax-exempt, The PGA Tour, Inc. retains administrative oversight over the PGA Tour including sanctioning of events. So the people in charge of the PGA Tour now will stay in charge of the PGA Tour. It doesn't mean that these other ones coming in, it's not like the head of LIV Golf is going to all of a sudden start doing things and taking over for PGA.
Right.
That's not going to happen. Mutually agreed end to all pending litigation between the participating parties. Lawsuits out the window. We're done, right?
Right.
Process to be established for players to reapply for PGA Tour or DP World Tour membership after the 2023 season. So your players like Brooks Koepka, like Phil Mickelson, all these guys can now get back into the PGA Tour if they want to.
After the 2023 season.
After this season. We're in the middle of the season.
Which I believe
this season is done.
Which I believe the season starts in like September, October. I don't think it's not an annual. I don't think it's a calendar season, January to December. I think they start in September. I'll look into that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that goes.
Yeah, I think so too.
September, October, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that doesn't tell, one thing that it did tell me there was all the lawsuits out the window.
Yeah. They're just saying we're ready to play nice with each other.
Yeah, and I think that was the push back that LIV had on the PGA Tour, where, again, the PGA Tour may have won the war in the end, but they didn't want to lose battles within that war. And I think one of those battles was going to be having to share with the nation, share with the world, open up their books, that kind of thing. I don't think they wanted to do that for whatever reason. I have no idea why. But that's kind of how I look into that. Because, like I said, I think within a year, 2, 3 tops, I think LIV just disappears.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a possibility.
So,
to me, it looks like this. PGA Tour, they have the name, they have the recognition, they have the legacy, they have the history. LIV has the money.
Right.
Combine the best of both worlds, and you have yourself a golf conglomerate that, honestly, without LIV, would have never existed. You have to give LIV credit. They're the ones with tons of funding. They started their own league because I guarantee the people behind LIV, before LIV became a thing, they probably reached out to PGA and was like, hey, we have all this money. We want to do some more events like this and in these places, and here's this money. And they're like, well, we don't like where that money's coming from. We don't want to do it. All right, well, we'll start our own league. They do. They pull some players over. Again, there's some bad blood between all these different sides, and now it's like, hey, you know what? Let's just find a way to merge. All right, I guess we do want your money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of assumption going on there, but I can only imagine that that's somewhat how things had to have gone down.
The benefit is going to be the purses are going to get larger.
Oh, huge. They're going to be really big.
That's going to be the benefit. But again, if I'm a PGA Tour player that's defended the PGA over the past year or however long 2 years, however long this has been going on, I'm feeling really betrayed right now. So, like, here's Colin Morikawa.
Yeah, his tweet.
I love finding out morning news on Twitter.
Yep.
Let's see. Wesley Bryan. You can follow him at Wesley Bryan Golf on Instagram. This is what he says. I feel betrayed and will not be able to trust anyone within the corporate structure of the PGA Tour for a very long time. Don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
Don't blame him at all. Joel Dahman, who I've become a fan of ever since Full Swing, and he's being very facetious here, but he goes, I've grown up being a fan of the Four Aces. That's one of the teams in LIV. I've grown up being a fan of the Four Aces. Maybe one day I get to play for them on the PGA Tour.
Speaking of Full Swing, by the way.
Yeah.
Chad Mumm, who is one of the producers or directors of Full Swing, he said, you better believe we were filming when this broke.
Oh, yeah.
And so someone asked him, did you guys know about this prior to the players? And he said, no, we just got a good break.
Wow.
So I don't know who they were filming. I don't know where they were filming.
Yeah.
But the cameras were rolling when this news broke. So next season of Full Swing, that's going to be a very interesting episode.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get some live reactions in the moment of the people inside of the PGA that are now learning about this merger in real time, and that's going to be so much fun. I can't wait for season 2 of Full Swing now. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, no question about it. That'll be must see TV.
Yeah, for
no doubt about it.
And there's just for golf fans. I mean, for sports fans.
Yeah, and there's a lot of responses that has come out. Oh gosh, where's that story at? Let's see. Shoot, I just lost it.
Yeah, we can dig it back.
But
up.
yeah, we can for sure. But yeah, just a lot of comments. Like I said, Twitter, Instagram, everything was blowing up this morning with player comments. Some of them serious, some of them very facetious, some of them, that everybody had their own way to deal with this. But as a fan, I feel like the PGA Tour caved, betrayed a lot of people. Betray me, fine.
But betray the players.
But when you betray the players and the people that passed up,
well, that's what I was just going to say.
$50 million, $100 million, $200 million.
Imagine being one of
BS. Dude.
Imagine being one of those players that was sitting there on the fence of like, man, these guys are offering me $100 million right now to come play golf, but PGA Tour says they have my back. It's where the better competition is. I have morals I want to uphold because I don't want to go play for these guys because I kind of know where this money's coming from and I don't feel comfortable with where it's coming from. So I'm going to have to turn it down, but man, I would really like to.
Yeah.
And then just a year later? Really? I mean, it's been, it really has been about a year later. They could be like, man, I could be $100 million richer and sitting real pretty. But instead I'm fighting over here and I'm making, and granted, they're still in the PGA, so they're probably making pretty good money, a few $100,000 a year at least, right? If you're in the middle of the pack, but you're like, man, I making a few $100,000. I could have been making $100 million. Yeah. So
yeah, Chambly on the Golf Channel, he's been such a proponent of the PGA Tour and a big time opponent to LIV Tour. And Brooks Koepka's tweet this morning was, welfare check on Chambly.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Again, there's a lot of comments. Some of them are kind of humorous. Some of them are very serious. But just following up on those statements of, okay, you don't want to betray the fans either. They're your bread and butter. Yeah, they're the ones that are that are paying, the entry fees into these tournaments. They're the ones that are buying your clothes. These are the ones that are. If you're, going to the events, buying your sponsors, products, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it's one thing to betray us, but again, like we were just talking, to betray a Morikawa, Justin Thomas, or Rory McIlroy, and then some of the other guys that might not make as much money that maybe were offered. Yeah. Some of the guys that are just making, 6 or 7 cuts a year, making, again, it's still good money, don't get me wrong, but, that are making $500,000 to $800,000 a year. And again, just to put this in perspective, some of their coworkers, if you want to call them that, are making millions upon millions. So, just everything is relative. But somebody who's not making as much on the PGA Tour, maybe they had an offer out in front of them like you were just talking about, had that decision to make, decided to stay with Justin Thomas, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and then all this comes out. If I'm those guys, I am pissed. Yeah, I am like Jay Monahan. Really upset. You need to resign. You need to get the hell out of here because what you just did and what you've done for the past 2 years leading into this, like I said, using 9/11 families, stuff like that. And I say the word using. They were using 9/11 families. And it worked. Like I said, I was pro PGA. I'm like, yes. And then this news comes out. And again, until I get all of the details, I'm going to kind of hold back. But, as of right now, as of right now, I feel a little betrayed by the PGA Tour.
I think a lot of fans do. I think a lot of fans do.
Crazy.
But you know what? It all comes down to money.
Yeah.
It all comes down to money.
No question.
So we got to take a break.
Oh, boy.
We've been talking for almost half an hour. Can you believe it?
Jeez.
Almost half an hour. We still haven't taken a break. So we'll take one.
Jeez.
And we got more coming back here on the other side here on From the Bleachers.
Go to Oak.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Well, we've spent the first part of the show talking about this merger, PGA, LIV.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting day, to say the least.
It
I
really-
know everybody's kind of talking about it.
Yeah, I think every national show and local shows, I'm sure, talking about this. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep our ears open, continue to kind of look into this. And I want to know what the details are.
Yeah.
And then move from there. But initial reaction, PGA Tour, Jay Monahan, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, and I think you have every right to be a little disappointed.
Maybe not even little, maybe just disappointed.
Yeah. I think for the most part, most people seem to be, understandably so, disappointed. So, and you know what? I get it. I'm a little disappointed too.
Mm-hmm.
But
So weird.
we move on, right? That's
Hey,
all
last
we can
night,
do is
though,
move on.
Las Vegas.
Hey, man.
The Golden Knights. Go Knights, go!
Yeah, that's
7-2.
It was a
rout.
It was a great game for the Vegas Golden Knights. I'll tell you that. Watching it live, I watched the first period and the third period. I did not catch the second period, but I was following it along on my phone. And I will say this, man, it's electric. I would love to make it to a game at T-Mobile, but I just don't think that's going to be in the cards for me.
Just to put this into perspective, say, comparing it to an NFL game.
Yeah.
NFL playoff game. This is like a 49-14 game.
Oh, it's a blowout.
7-2 in hockey is the equivalent to a 49-14 game in the NFL.
Yeah.
Blew them off the ice last night. Florida Panthers licking their wounds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this wasn't close at all. And here's the thing. You compare it to football. It would also be like if Florida scores a touchdown with 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Too. Because they scored one of the goals kind of late.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't mean much.
A little bit of a garbage time.
Yeah, it was garbage time. It was a garbage time goal. But then again, you know what? Then Vegas goes and they score a garbage time goal as well. I mean, that's just how the game was. Aiden Hill, their goalie. I mean, you got to give hats off to that kid. He played really well last night. And if you look at shots on goal, there's a point where I think the score was 6-2 at that point, and it was like 20 shots on goal for Vegas and 25 for Florida.
Yeah.
So if you're looking percentage-wise, I mean, he was closing out everything. He was all over the place. There was one save, by the way, where it did get past him, and I don't remember who it was. They got a stick in there, and the puck was on the line. The whole puck has to pass the line, right? It was on the line inside the goal. They just tip it away, puts a glove on it. They stop it, and they go check the replay, and they barely saved a goal. Wouldn't have mattered. It would have been 7-3.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But it's just that proves how much everything is just going Vegas's way.
Right.
And you look at Florida; they were running scared in the third period.
Right.
You look at how physical they were getting, and in hockey, it's a physical game. People are going to get physical. They got to the point where you could tell that they were so defeated, literally, just the scoreboard.
Right.
That they were getting a little more physical than you normally would, to the point where it was just like, guys, what are you doing? Just go out there and play. Just go play the game. The amount of times that Vegas was scoring on power plays, it's like, guys, if you would actually just play a clean game, then maybe this wouldn't be an issue right now. Maybe this would be a 5-3 game instead of a 7-2.
Yeah.
Still, Vegas is playing great hockey, but it was so much fun to watch that one last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good one.
Listening to Q on Locked On Raiders, he talked a little bit of Golden Knights in his podcast this morning, I should say. And, he was saying this puts with now he will concede that the Golden Knights, they are Vegas's number one team. Okay. That's who that city is, just, has fallen in love, has wrapped their arms around hockey and the Golden Knights. I mean, you go to Vegas, it is Golden Knights everywhere. Okay. Even last year when they didn't make the playoffs, things like that, it's still a Golden Knights town. Okay. Now the Raiders, Q was saying, hey, this puts pressure on the Raiders. Now with the Aces winning WNBA last year, now with the Golden Knights possibly winning a Stanley Cup, this puts pressure on the Raiders because Las Vegas needs to have the reputation of winners, because
100%.
They want people to go to Las Vegas because it is a destination city, and they want people to think, oh, everybody there is a winner. Like, this is just a mentality thing for visitors. Everybody in Vegas is a winner. If I go to Vegas, I'm going to be a winner. I'm going to just clean out the casinos, when in fact we know that doesn't happen. But it's just a mentality thing. So that's what he says. He goes, bringing the Raiders, this puts pressure on the Raiders with everybody else winning. The Raiders need to win too. That would, really put out that extra feeling of Vegas is full of winners. And when you come to Vegas, you're a winner too, Caden.
That's right. I mean, you're right about that, right? I mean, you talk about some of the best sports cities, and you talk about those cities that are winning championships, right? Especially when you can get teams that are winning championships, kind of close to each other, relatively.
Right.
I'm talking time-wise, right?
Time-wise, yeah.
Like if, for example, you have the Yankees winning a World Series and then you have the Giants winning a Super Bowl, right? All of a sudden, everything's just New York. Or you have Chicago, you have the Bulls that would go out and win one, then you have the Blackhawks go out and win something, and then you have the White Sox that are there. Like these sports cities, it's because they're cities that bring in championships.
Yeah.
With Vegas, if they can hold on, and I'm going to say if it's a 2-0.
Oh, stop it! Just give them the cup.
I'm saying if.
Start etching them on the.
I don't want to be that guy that says. I don't want to be that guy that's like, yeah, they're going to win, and then they don't.
No, they are.
But yeah, you're right. If they win and they bring home a championship, they bring home the Stanley Cup, and then it's okay. Well, now it's up to the Raiders. It would help if they do get an NBA expansion team. That's in talks. And if the A's come into town,
do we want those losers coming to Las Vegas though?
That's what I'm saying. Well, if the A's come to town, you give the Raiders a break because the A's are not good.
Maybe we look into being one of the expansion teams, like they did in hockey.
Yeah,
we don't want those. We don't want to just take all the losers from Oakland.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
That's not what Las Vegas wants to be known for.
Well, and that's another big question because we were just talking about this before the show started. That you talk about the A's. Well, they did not get they did not get what they needed to passed in Nevada law to make it so. Hey, yeah, they can go build a stadium. That didn't get passed. So now they have to bring it back up again later.
Right.
Because taxpayer dollars are important to governments, and they want to make sure it's going towards things that are going to be worth it. And right now, the state of Nevada says, we don't know about that yet. We don't know about that.
I still think that gets done, though.
I mean, I'm sure it'll get done. This kind of stuff happens a lot. Did you hear what happened, by the way? Not to change gears, but it's somewhat similar with Minnesota. You know how the Vikings built the U.S. Bank Stadium, whatever?
Yeah.
Right? They paid off the stadium like 20 years early, saving taxpayers, we're talking like $100 million.
Really?
Because they paid it off early.
Good for them.
So now everyone in Minnesota's like, oh, sweet. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
So could that be the case with something like the A's coming over?
Right.
I think so, but they have to have success because they need to get butts in seats.
Yeah.
If that happens, then maybe they could try to pay off some stadium debt and taxpayers will be happier with them. And once the stadium's paid off, then more money towards players, right? If that happens, I feel like it's a big if.
Yeah.
It's a big if. And no one likes the A's owner, John Fisher. He's just, or whatever his name is, something like that, right? Something Fisher.
Well, and we'll be talking a little bit more baseball in our next segment.
It's crazy.
We
are, yeah.
We have a special guest coming on from the Las Vegas Aviators. So, we'll be able to, I'm sure we'll be able to talk some A's stuff as well, kind of get some maybe inside action on what's going on with Aviators, A's, Las Vegas ballpark, all that kind of stuff. And we've got that coming up next.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. So, should we get him on the phone?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, coming up next, more baseball talk here on the Fan Sports Network. Stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on every...
Here on the Fan Sports Network, Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
We also have a guest with us on the phone from the Las Vegas Aviators. Excited to welcome him into the show. Matt Neverett on the show with us. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Excited to come on with you guys.
Now, Matt, did he say your name right?
Yeah.
Nice.
100%.
All right. That's what I like to hear.
I've taught him well, Matt. I'm the
There you go.
I'm the PA announcer over here at a local high school where I do volleyball, football, girls and boys basketball, and baseball. And I also usually do their graduation. And that's the one that I get stressed out so much about with all those different names. And so, anyways, just talking about name pronunciations and things like that is it can be very difficult sometimes. So I'm glad Caden nailed it.
It's those graduations that are sneaky because they're about 3 hours long and it's just a ton of names. So I feel your pain there.
Hey, you would appreciate our graduation up here at Desert Hills High School. I think I did a record hour and 15-minute graduation with 330 something graduates.
Oh, hats off.
No kidding.
That is impressive.
All right. Hey, Matt. So let's talk a little bit about the Las Vegas Aviators for a second, shall we? Because, yeah, you know what? It's for us, we love having some AAA baseball right in our backyard in Nevada, right there, right in Las Vegas. For us, it's not that far of a drive. For you, how did you kind of get into this thing with the Las Vegas Aviators?
So it's kind of a long story, and you got to kind of go back all the way to the early 2000s. My dad is a baseball play-by-play announcer as well. Tim Neverton's his name. He's one of the Dodgers play-by-play guys currently.
Oh.
But way back in the day, I'm actually from Las Vegas originally, so my dad used to call every minor league team that was here back in the day, from minor league hockey to arena football to indoor soccer and UNLV and so on and so forth. So he was actually involved with, at that time, the Las Vegas 51s. They had just been renamed from the Stars to the 51s in the 2000 season. The 01 season was his first year there. So he was one of the play-by-play announcers there for about 3 years, and then we moved to Denver. But I won't bore you with all the details between then and now. But when I was in high school, in college, wanted to kind of follow in the footsteps, continue the family trade. So going to college, doing play-by-play there, and I spent my first year out of college with the Birmingham Barons, doing play-by-play and media relations for them in the AA Southern League. Most people know them as the team that Michael Jordan played for. The summer that I was born in 1994.
Yeah.
And then from there, I spent 2 years with the Pirates single-A affiliate in Bradenton, Florida. Did some spring training, did their season throughout the minor league season. And then right before the 2020 season started, I moved back to Las Vegas, where I'm from originally, and got started doing some stuff with the AAA team there, getting going with the Aviators. And then we had our big league weekend games, a couple of spring training games, and then I think we all know what happened in March of 2020. So, but once I got going, once the next season started in 2021, been on the air with our other play-by-play guy, Russ Langer, for the last 3 seasons, and it's a great team. If you've been out to the ballpark, it's the best work atmosphere in all of minor league baseball.
Tremendous.
We're super fortunate. The downtown Summerlin area where the ballpark is located is beautiful. So, yeah, really lucky and definitely fortunate to be involved with the Aviators on a full-time basis.
Yeah, Caden and I have been down to several games down there over the past couple of years, going to the Las Vegas ballpark, and I'm blown away just how nice that area is all the time. So you're exactly right when it comes to your work environment is so nice. Tell us a little bit about this Las Vegas Aviator team. What's their personality? And, I know they're taking on the River Cats this week. You've got a away series with Sacramento. Tell us a little bit about that series as well, kind of how the Aviators are going to handle the River Cats, but also tell us a little bit about the personality of this Aviator team.
Yeah, so it's a good group of guys. It all starts with the manager, Fran Reardon, who has been with the team since they were rebranded in 2019. So what would that make it, 1921? This would be his 5th season there. And he is really, stern when it comes to the game, but when he's off the field, he's a really, really fun guy to deal with, and having that stability to run the clubhouse makes a big difference. It's unique with the way that the Oakland Athletics are the parent club, as far as at the major league level. As you know, AAA is, I wouldn't even say a step below the minor league, or below the major leagues, rather. It's about half a step, depending on the team and how often guys are kind of shuttled back and forth. So AAA is a unique level because, especially being in the Oakland system, you've got a lot of guys who have some major league experience, and then you've got a lot of younger guys that are kind of on the way up, and then you got basically guys everywhere in the middle. So right now the team comprised of 2 of the top 3 prospects in the Oakland system. Tyler Soderstrom, who catches and plays first base, is the consensus number 1 prospect for Oakland. Out of Turlock, California, near Fresno, and really good left-handed power hitter. does a pretty good job defensively behind the plate, and they're teaching him first base to kind of keep the legs fresh. And if you ask a lot of people, a lot of scouts think that is where he will eventually find more playing time at the major league level. And then the number 3 prospect is a second baseman out of the University of Virginia named Zach Gelov, who right-handed bat, shows some power, but really good gap-to-gap hitter. He's got wheels galore, 13 stolen bases already, which with some of the new rule changes, the stolen base is coming back into vogue, and Gelov is one of the guys taking advantage of that. A guy that just graduated, if you will, from the prospect rankings. He was in the major leagues for too many games to be considered a prospect anymore, but Jordan Diaz, who's infielder out of Columbia, represented Columbia in the World Baseball Classic this year, and he's a real power bat from the right side, and really good guy to know. He's got a really unique backstory. It's a good group of hitters, and in the Pacific Coast League especially, you're going to have a lot of offense. A lot of the ballparks are at elevation. Las Vegas ballpark's at just over 3,000 feet. You've got ballparks in Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, a couple of other higher elevation ballparks. So you'll find a lot of times that teams that have a ton of pitching prospects will actually skip them over AAA entirely if their affiliate is in the Pacific Coast League. So it's a lot of hitting, I would say, but I think that's kind of the way that most of the Pacific Coast League teams are comprised. The pitching staff is unique just because Oakland calls so many guys up and down as far as the arms go. So that's definitely in flux day to day. But overall, the bullpen has done a better job than the starters this year in terms of overall ERA and effectiveness. And those are the guys that are getting called up and down more often than the starters, I would say.
So you being a part of Las Vegas with the Aviators, do you feel like Las Vegas as a city is ready for that jump to become an MLB city as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy as somebody who was from here originally, lived here for the first 10 years of my life, moved away actually just about 20 years ago coming up. And, just having come back and seeing the difference in not only the landscape physically, the skyline is just so much more full. There's so much more going on events-wise, even than when I was a kid here in the early 2000s. But the sports scene has, just exploded. And, they used to say that Vegas was the entertainment capital of the world, and they've started to amend that. And I agree with it when they say that it's now the sports and entertainment capital of the world, because just the growth has been enormous in such a short amount of time. And for, some of the teams like the Aces and now the Golden Knights to have such success early on really speaks to the atmosphere and the fact that Vegas is a growing city. It's still considered a small market city as far as major league standard. And, eventually in the next, I would say 10 years or less, there will be all 4 professional sports teams here. We're going to have a baseball team. They should have a basketball team here already. So it's just going to be, growing even more. So it's been crazy to watch. So like I said, from the time that I was a kid until now, the growing landscape, and there's still so much room to expand just physically with the way that the topography is out here. I mean, just over 3 million residents in Vegas right now. So it can and will continue to grow, especially with a lot of the other events coming here, the F1, the Super Bowl. So absolutely, I think Vegas is ready to support a full-time Major League Baseball team. And the other thing with that as well is that when the major leagues took over the minor leagues coming out of COVID, coming out of that 2020 season, they ended a clause in the professional contract where the major and minor league team can't have the same market. So you're seeing AAA teams within shouting distance within the same city of their major league teams. So it would not be unprecedented if that were to occur here. The examples I like to bring up, St. Paul in Minnesota is the Twins, the Twins AAA affiliate there, I think 18 miles away, ballpark to ballpark. And then in Houston, their affiliate is in Sugar Land, which is just a fancy suburb just outside of Houston. I think it's 13 miles ballpark to ballpark. So
that's about the same as what Vegas would have, right?
It would be, but I think 18 to 20, somewhere in there, not even, from anywhere like remotely stripped to where the ballpark is in Summerlin already. So that's one consideration that I get asked about a lot, and that's no longer a clause that anyone has to worry about.
Now, I'm a huge Dodger fan. I have been ever since the late 70s with that Garvey, Lopes, Russell, Say infield. I'm sure that I know your dad's voice if I heard it. I'm looking at his Wikipedia right now, and we were just talking yesterday. I was coming down. My boy played in a high school all-star game up north, and we were listening to the Dodgers and Yankees, and Charlie Steiner was doing the play-by-play along with Rick Monday being color. And Charlie Steiner described the Aaron Judge catch, and I love listening to baseball on radio. I absolutely love it, especially with a good play-by-play guy, and I do love Charlie Steiner. But I had a much different visual when he described that Aaron Judge catch. I don't know if you saw it or not, but when he crashed into the bullpen gate, I was like, Charlie, you made that sound like a much better catch than it really was. But you know what? I love listening to baseball on the radio. And anyways, I love what you guys do. You know, Caden and I, we have dipped our toes into, play-by-play and color. We did our Utah 4A state baseball championship tournament and just had a blast with it. So we appreciate what you guys do. And heck, when we come down, we'd love to meet you, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely next time you guys come down, give you the full VIP club level treatment, get you up with Chuck Johnson.
You just made Caden smile.
I love it. I love it. Hey, you know what? I've been to that ballpark I think 3 different times now. I've gone once with Mark. I've gone a couple times with my wife and with my family, and every single time it's been a brilliant experience. So, yeah, I love to take it to the next level. We're ready to go.
Absolutely. Once you get up in Suite 11, that's how you know you've made it.
I like the sound of that.
Nice. And Matt, we'll talk to you next Tuesday, talking about the homestand against Reno.
Yes, sir. Ready to go. Happy to come on with you guys. We'll have to swing by in studio next time I'm on the way up to Zion.
Absolutely. Yes.
Love to have you. You just let us know.
Matt, one quick question, too. Do you like to golf?
Yeah. Love golfing. I was playing with Chuck Johnson, our GM, yesterday, actually.
Oh.
Well, we got great golf here in St. George.
If you and Chuck ever come up here, we will hook you up. We'll go out. We'll hook you up for sure.
Let's do it. Happy to hear that.
Okay, awesome. We'll talk to you next week, Matt.
Appreciate it, guys. Looking forward to it.
Yep, go Aviators.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a break ourselves. Be back with more on the other side here on From the Bleachers. Stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know. I wish we would have had more time for Matt. We were up against a break. Matt Neverett from the Las Vegas Aviators. He's on the radio broadcast team. But, hey, we get to talk to him every Tuesday through the season. So we'll have plenty of opportunities to talk to Matt and what the Aviators are doing. We'll talk a little Oakland A's as well. And it sounds like maybe we can even talk some Dodgers with his old man being on their broadcast team. So
might as well, huh?
You know, my ears perked.
Yeah, when you said Dodgers, your face was literally like,
I went right to Wikipedia, pulled up his dad, and yeah, for sure he has he's been with the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Boston Red Sox. He's done some AAA affiliates, AA affiliates, and right now he works as a television and radio play-by-play announcer for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And again, I am sure I know his voice.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you.
He might be the voice I know.
Yeah, the voice you know is the voice you know.
Exactly.
Something like that, huh?
Anyways,
works?
That was a cool interview. And again, we'll talk to Matt every Tuesday as they get set for away series, whether they're away. Like I said, this week they're in Sacramento taking on the River Cats. Yeah. Next week, they will be at home at Las Vegas Ballpark taking on the Reno Aces. And we have some tickets that we would love to give away. All you have to do is text us on our text line, 435-990-9950. Text. What should they text, Caden?
Let's just text Aviators. We'll make it simple.
Boom.
Text Aviators, 435-990-9950, and you're entered to win some tickets for next week's matchups. So, and I know it's summertime. I know some people have a little bit more time on their hands, so those weekday games are available. They're a lot more doable.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
We'll have some games ready to rock and roll for you. So
and I got to tell you, even without any high school baseball going on right now, it's been over for a little bit. I got a little taste of it on Saturday when I went up to the All-Star game for high school, but I'm already kind of missing live baseball. There is something about the crack of the bat, the pop of the gloves, the smell of hot dogs and popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
There is something about a ballpark that truly, I'm not kidding you here, that truly brings families and people together.
Oh, yeah.
No question about it. If you want to do a family activity that is not your normal, go up to the Dixie Rock or, go wherever you go, maybe even to, well, I can't say over Lake Powell, but, just something different, a family activity that you want to do that's just a little bit different. Maybe you haven't done it. And let's go to Las Vegas Ballpark. Go to a Las Vegas Aviators game. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. There's not a bad seat in the house. And the seats that we get are always lower bowl, and they're on one of the baselines.
Yeah.
So they're fantastic seats.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's always a good time. It's always a good time. I got to tell you this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, after we went golfing on Sunday, and I went home and I showered because, again, we were hot out there in the sun golfing.
It was hot.
It was a little toasty.
No.
So I got home, cleaned up a little bit, and on Sundays when I'm sitting around, you know what I like to do? I like to throw on that Aviators jersey.
Nice.
I just lounge around in my Aviators jersey, because why not? When else am I going to wear it other than when I go to games? But that's not as often as I would like it to be. So I put on the jersey.
I'm just glad that you're wearing clothes.
I'm at home. I can do what I want.
Well, I know, but I don't want to hear those. We don't want to hear those stories over the air.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
You kind of had me a little nervous there for a minute.
Yeah. I'm just saying I threw on the Aviators jersey. So all I'm saying is I'm representing all the time. I'm representing those Aviators. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is, but and it's like you when you were talking with Matt. It's just nice having a AAA affiliate that close to us in our backyard. I mean, it really, truly is in our backyard. High level baseball. I know you've got there's people out there laughing. Oh, aren't we talking about the Oakland A's organization? Is that really high level baseball? Hey, yes, it is.
It is.
It is. These guys are still in a minor percentage, 1%, the 1%ers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how many players get to AAA and MLB is literally the 1%ers, because when we were at Desert Hills and Coach Cave was talking about the percentage of high school players that get to play just at the next level, not D1, but just next level baseball. So you were talking JUCOs, D3s, D2s, D1s. I think the percentage was like, I want to say it was like 8 to 10%. I can't remember the exact of players, of high school players nationwide that get to play at the next level. And then
That's not a lot.
And then if you take it to the next step, where you get drafted, we're talking about 1%ers here. So yes, I know it is fun always to make fun of the Oakland A's and their organization, but still the Las Vegas Aviators, this is high level baseball. No question about it.
Yep, it is.
And what's more important, it's high level hot dogs, high level nachos, high level ice cream and burger. It's all about the food, baby.
Oh yeah. What's funny is I don't know if you can't really see it on our YouTube stream right now, but up there we have our shelf of many things.
Yeah.
And we have 2 Las Vegas Aviators things.
Yep.
One of them is like a mini helmet. One is a bigger helmet, right? The mini helmet, you get your Dippin' Dots in it.
Yeah.
The big helmet, you get nachos in it. Loaded nachos.
Right.
So I'm telling you, the food is worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you also get a souvenir with it, too.
Yeah.
So that's always kind of fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. No, a good time at the ballpark. And just again, a reminder, if you want to go to an Aviators game, we have tickets for you. We have 4 tickets every game this season. So right now, if you want tickets for the next series, and we'll work with you, we'll make it work.
Absolutely.
It's a big series. So if you're like, man, I can't go on Wednesday, but I'd love to go on Thursday, let us know, okay? Just text Aviators to our text line. Aviators, 435-990-9950. We're going to be picking a bunch of different people to win some tickets.
Yes, exactly.
So make sure you text in.
That's what I was just going to say is we'll have several winners. We'll pick the first winner. They'll have the first choice of game.
Yep.
Then we'll pick a second winner. They'll have, they can pick any game, obviously, except for the one that the first winner chose, and we'll go on from there. But yes, absolutely. We'll have several winners. So don't think that it's just if you don't win it, you don't win it all next week. We're gonna pick several names.
Yeah, we got a lot of names ready to go.
Give away several tickets.
Now remind us, do you have the schedule pulled up? Who they're playing?
Oh yes.
At home next.
Mm-hmm. I do. I have that. So they play starting on the 13th. They play the Reno Aces, and that's through Sunday. And then Monday they have off. And then Tuesday, they will be taking on Oklahoma City.
And that's at Oklahoma City.
At Oklahoma City, yep. And they play, again, same thing, Tuesday through Sunday at Oklahoma City. They have Monday and Tuesday off, and then they will host Round Rock on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of June. And maybe even the 1st and 2nd of July. I'm not sure. This just shows through June. But I will pull up July.
Very good. Very good.
And yes, they play 1st, 2nd, and 3rd also of July versus Round Rock.
Very good.
At Las Vegas Ballpark.
Well, we got a lot of people texting in already, so we appreciate you. We're going to start handing out some tickets here in a little bit.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
If we haven't done so already,
we're
going to get you on the board. So, with that said, I'm super excited about it. But let's change gears. One thing we wanted to ask him, but we didn't get the chance to, as we kind of already mentioned, was the ballpark in Las Vegas being turned down. How does that affect things moving forward? Really, all it does is they're just going to have to ask the Nevada state to reconvene and say, hey, can you guys go over this one more time? And maybe they might have to make a few changes to say we want taxpayers to pay for this percentage as opposed to this percentage or whatever, right? To bring the A's on over. I think it's very possible that the A's are coming over. I mean, I'd say I'm 98% sure the A's are coming over.
Because if you remember
they just got to make it work.
If you remember right, even when the Raiders were doing all of their, council meetings and, state representative meetings, legislator, there was times that it got shot down. Then is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? It's going to happen. Oakland doesn't want the A's in Oakland anymore. Correct. They don't want pro sports for whatever reason. And hey, that's fine. That's fine. Oakland, if you don't want them, that's fine. We've opened our arms to the Raiders, and we will do the same for the A's. There's no question about it. Again, I wish that they were a little more successful right now, but maybe it's something that they can build, and, MLB fans in Las Vegas will be able to put their arms around that team just like they did with the expansion Golden Knights. We'll see what happens there. But also, too, I was reading speaking of the Oakland A's, remember we talked about a month or so ago about their fans doing that reverse boycott?
Yeah.
They are still planning on doing it. I believe it's the 13th of June. Okay. I believe so anyways. And now for those of you that may not have caught this, so Oakland fans, well, there's a group of them that still don't want them to leave Oakland. Okay. And what they're going to do is they're going to do a reverse boycott. Now, if you've seen any highlights of an Oakland A's game in Oakland, there's about 17 people in the stadium, okay? Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but not much.
Right.
It looks like there's about 17 people in the stadium.
It doesn't look like there's a lot. There's a few thousand.
There's a couple thousand. Yeah, there's a few thousand. So what they're going to do, Kate, and I know you know this already, but there's some listeners that may not have caught this. The fans in Oakland are going to reverse boycott, and they're going to fill the stadium up for one night. One night only.
One night only.
And I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. So what they're going to do is they're going to reward ownership. They're going to put money in ownership's pockets and do a reverse boycott and tell them it's not the fans' fault. Yes, it partly is the fans' fault. When there's only 7,000 people showing up, where's the other 20,000, that are going to show up at this boycott? But why aren't they showing up every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights? So I don't know. It's just one of the stupidest things I've ever heard, a reverse boycott, because you're going to show them. We're going to show you, and we're going to fill that stadium for one night.
I mean, I think it's kind of funny.
I think it's stupid.
Well, here's why I like the idea. They're trying to tell management that you guys could be making a lot more money here in Oakland if you actually manage the team well. They're saying we don't want to go to games. Our stadium kind of sucks. You guys aren't winning. It's not like you don't have fans. We are here. We are loyal to you. So you be loyal to us. And I told you before, this is one of the biggest problems that I have with the current ownership, because they've already come out and said, and we talked about this right before the show started today, they've already come out and said, hey, we're thinking about having games start at 4 o'clock so that the people coming into town can come catch a game of their favorite team and still go hit up a show at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night when the game's over. And in my mind, that just tells me that you're catering to every other fan base in Major League Baseball and not to your own fans. Mm-hmm. That's still one of the biggest problems that I have with the current A's ownership. They do not care about their own fans. They care about everybody else's fans. They want to make money where they can make money. But imagine the money they could be making if they actually built their own fan base. It would help if the team was winning. If the team was first in their division, then that's different a little bit. I think you can look at what's going on with the Rays, though, because the Rays are kind of in a similar situation where the stadium's not great, the fan experience is not great, and you know what? They're still not actually selling that many tickets for the Rays.
And they're good.
And they're really good.
They're in first place, if I'm not
They are
mistaken.
in first place.
Yeah.
The team is good. The stadium is not. The fan experience is not. The fans don't want to go to games. Mm-hmm. They sell way more tickets than the A's, so that's not necessarily the problem, right?
Yeah.
They're still selling tickets. But people don't want to be at those games because it's just not a fun fan experience for them. So they don't go.
Yeah.
They just don't go to the games all that much. Again, way more than the A's, but you look at it, it's not that great. By the way, speaking of kind of fan experience in baseball, not to totally change the subject, I promise this isn't totally changing the subject on you, Mark, but I saw a graph recently. I had to take a screenshot of it The attendance this season compared to last season,
Mm-hmm.
because of shortened games, is off the charts.
Higher.
Much higher. People are going to more games now by like a lot.
Like what's like? Give me some numbers.
Like we're talking on average about 5 to 10% more fans are going to games.
Really? Now that's nationwide. That's
That
taking
is-
in Dodgers, Braves, Yankees, Red Sox.
There are 5 teams that their average attendance has gone down. Everybody else's has gone up. Those 5 teams, by the way, are the White Sox, the Rockies, the Giants, Tigers, and just barely the Royals. Everybody else's this season so far is actually higher than it was last season.
Really?
Yeah. Now you have like the Dodgers and the Angels, who are right around even from where they were last
I was
year.
gonna say,
But that's just because those teams already did well.
Yeah, exactly. They're already Dodgers. They already lead the league. They're usually top 2 or top 3 in attendance. They sell out a lot of games.
Yeah. So we're talking.
theirs couldn't bump up much higher, anyways.
Yeah. And the teams that are doing a lot better, Pittsburgh, who's played a lot better. Pittsburgh, who's playing a lot better this season.
Yeah,
right?
they are.
So their attendance is way up.
And by the way, I'm a closeted Pittsburgh Pirate fan. I know that we make fun of them sometimes, but I have been a Pirate fan. I've liked the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time, ever since the 80s. Yes.
And they've always just been one of those teams that's like, they exist.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I always
not one way or another.
I always secretly root for them. I guess it's not a secret anymore, but I do. I always like, come on, Pittsburgh. But I know we make fun of them because of the movie 42.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. That's one of those. I got to get that as a hot button sooner than later.
Yeah.
Something's going on in Pennsylvania because Philly is the other team that's up a lot.
And they have some big stars, though, too. They had a great off season.
But I thought year to year that they wouldn't be up as high.
Yeah.
Just because they had a good
Bryce
year
Harper
last year.
Yeah, they did. They had some good players last year. They went out and got Trey Turner
And Bryce
this year.
Harper's been out most of this year.
Yeah.
So if you're going to see Bryce, he hasn't been around this year.
Yeah.
But they're doing well.
Exciting team.
Cleveland as well. Tampa Bay, who is doing a lot better this year. Is better year over year, and Baltimore, of course. Baltimore's having a fantastic season. But yeah, you have your teams that, yes, they're doing better, but they've always been doing well. Like, for example, Boston, both of the New York teams, San Diego. Those are all teams that, they're better year over year by about 5%.
But they couldn't do much better.
They couldn't really do
anyways.
much better anyways. So, but even still, baseball as a whole is up higher. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that games are 40 minutes shorter.
Yeah. I mean, when you only have to invest 2.5 hours of your life as opposed to a possible 4-hour game. I mean, I've been to 4-hour games before.
Yeah. So have I. It's a lot. It's taxing.
With the new rules, the pitch clock and everything like that. Yeah. Games are averaging about 2 hours and 30 minutes, and which is about 40 minutes shorter than before.
Yeah.
So, and I know that doesn't seem much, but when you're already talking 2.5 hours or 3 hours, it is a lot. And that doesn't even count your drive time. That's just your time at the ballpark. So,
you have to
helps.
make a whole day out of it.
Yeah.
Previously, you really do have to make a whole day out of the experience. And now, again, maybe if you live closer to a stadium, or you're at least have a hotel that's closer to a stadium or something, you make an evening out of it.
Right.
Which is good for the local fans, right? Local fans, you're way more likely to be able to go to a game and just go to the game and enjoy an evening. Just, hey, it's a Wednesday night. There's a game. I found some cheap tickets. Let's go. It's a little bit more likely that people are going to go catch a game. And even for us, right? Let's talk about if Vegas can secure the deal and actually get the A's to come over. It's way more likely for people here to be able to say, I want to go to a game. I can catch a game. We talk about the Aviators. They're running the same pitch clock, so their games are just as short, right? It's a lot easier for us to say, I got nothing to do this Friday night. Let's run down to a game real quick, and we can still get back after the game and not feel like it's 3 a.m. because it's not, Right. So it's nice.
Yep.
In that aspect, it's nice. So, yeah. Anyways, let's head to a break.
Let's do it.
We got more coming up for you next on From the Bleachers.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back in, everybody. Man, I got to turn the microphones on. I was getting ready to get started. Microphones weren't even on.
And hey, I know it wasn't personal because it was actually both of our mics.
It wasn't my mic that was on.
You weren't just trying to stifle me.
That's right.
You know I don't like to be muted.
I know you don't. Welcome in, everybody. It's Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know. Caden, now you know that I went up to Lindquist Field over this past weekend, and I'm in the bathroom, and I take a picture. Oh, do you want the rest of that story?
We probably should. Need it. Yeah, I feel like I need it.
We probably should. Huh?
I don't know what you're taking a picture of, but maybe you should just send it to your doctor and your doctor only. But
all right, so I go into the restroom, and again, this is the baseball field. Obviously, it's Lindquist Field up in Ogden. They're the home of the Ogden Raptors.
Yeah.
They used to be a Dodger affiliate, and now they're just an MLB affiliate, which I guess that means that any team can maybe pick from their team. I don't know how that works.
I don't know how it works either.
But anyways, so I took this picture, and I'm going to put it on our fan social media a little bit later today because I don't know if this is gross or genius.
Let's hear it.
So in the restroom, you've got the urinal. Okay.
Correct.
And they have little walls for the stall, obviously, so a little bit of privacy. But within that, right next to the urinal, now it is up a little bit, like up just past the flush handle on the opposite side. So it's up a little bit. is a cup holder. Now, is this genius or is this just gross to take your beer or to take your Pepsi or your Mountain Dew and put it right there next to the urinal as you're relieving yourself? I don't know. That's why I'm going to put it out there. I kind of lean gross. I'm not taking a drink into the urinal with me and putting it in a cup holder right there.
You know, with it being right next to, and I saw your picture, so I know what you're talking about.
And again, I'll put it up on our social media a little bit later.
It's a little too close for comfort for me. I'm also going to say it's gross. Gross versus convenient. That is a good question. Gross versus convenient.
Or genius.
Or is it genius?
I don't know.
Or is it genius?
I do like where you stand. I'm showing Caden the picture again right now.
Put it on the camera for our YouTube viewers.
Yeah. Okay.
How about a YouTube? If
Can you see it right there? Because I don't have the camera.
Yeah. Put it a little closer. Put it a little closer there.
But I do like that you stand.
Yeah.
Right
there's
on
like a
home plate.
There's a home plate right in front. For our viewers on YouTube, you could see that.
Anyways, and again, I'll put that on our social media a little bit later. Hopefully I can figure out how to do a poll on the story. Gross or genius. I just don't know. I'm curious.
I lean gross.
Me too.
But it's also genius? Ooh. Is it capped? Even if it's capped, I don't know. At a game like that, it's probably something in a cup with a straw.
You know, it's funny.
Right?
Even here, like if I'm walking to the restroom and say I forgot to, put my Rockstar down or whatever, I don't take it into even our bathroom. And we've got a pretty clean facility here.
We got a clean bathroom.
I actually just set it down in the hallway, right around the corner. I just set it on the I don't take it into the bathroom. And again, I'm not a germaphobe. I'm not.
No, but there's just something different about taking food and drinks into a bathroom.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
And at a ballpark, I'm just saying, you're talking about here in our own facility. We're not talking about a stinky, dirty stadium bathroom.
Exactly. So anyway,
someone out there sitting there being like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I would totally take a drink in there.
That's why it's going to be.
No, I will say the convenience of it all. Let's say you got a drink and you're like, man, I really need to go to the bathroom before I go back to my seat. I don't want to take my drink over to my seat and then have to go back to a bathroom.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just take it in with me. I guarantee people have taken a drink in and they're sitting there and they're holding it while they're trying to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And it just doesn't work to do that one-handed very well.
I know.
So I can assume that they're putting those in place for those kind of people so you can just have somewhere to set it for a second.
I'm going to put this up on social media just to get everybody's thoughts and comments. I'll put it in a post too where we can actually get comments and such as well. But anyways, kind of funny. Hey, Caden.
Yeah.
The way too early fantasy quarterback rankings have come out.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Let me go over the top 10 with you. All right.
Okay.
And then we will go over, like 11 through 15 and just see maybe even 11 through 20 and see who they got right and who they got wrong.
All right, let's go over it. Let's see who we got.
So here's the top 10. I'll go 1 through 10, all right?
Let's do it.
Number 1, Josh Allen. Number 2, Jalen Hurts. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Very good fantasy quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of his legs. Number 5, Joe Burrow. Number 6, Justin Fields. Again, this is fantasy football.
Yeah, we're talking fantasy.
Talking fantasy. This isn't like the overall rankings. Justin Fields, he's not even a top 20 quarterback. Fantasy quarterback, he is. Yes. Number 7 is Trevor Lawrence. Number 8, Justin Herbert.
Trevor Lawrence got up there high. Wow.
He is a little high. And I'm talking number high. I don't know what he does. I'm not accusing him of being high. He's just a little
Jacksonville
high.
after all.
Number 9 is Kyler Murray. And number 10, Daniel Jones. That's your top 10.
Daniel Jones?
Yes. Your top 10 post-draft quarterback fantasy football rankings. Okay? Now, Let's go through 11 through 20, and you tell me if
Who got snubbed from the top 10, maybe?
Exactly. Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Number 11, Mr. Aaron Crane's favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but he's with the Jets now.
He
so
was with the Jets. But would you take an Aaron Rodgers
But he
on the
doesn't-
Jets, or would you take a Daniel Jones from the Giants?
We're talking fantasy.
We are
points.
talking fantasy.
Daniel Jones runs the ball a lot
What about
more than
Trevor
Aaron Rodgers.
Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence actually he's high for what I thought he would be, but I can see why Trevor Lawrence
So
is there.
you're still okay
I'm
with
still
Aaron
okay with it.
Rodgers?
Aaron
being
Rodgers,
11?
at the age he's at, he's not running, so he's only getting those fantasy points off of his passing yards, not his rushing yards.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Number 12, Geno Smith.
I think Geno Smith takes a step down. I feel like last year I don't want to say it was a fluke.
I'm with you though. I don't say it was a fluke either, but I don't think he's that good.
He's not that level.
Yes, exactly.
He's not a top 10 level.
You and I are exactly thinking the same when it comes to Geno Smith. Number 13, Tua Tagovailoa.
I'm worried.
Let's just no.
I'm worried for Tua.
Let's just consider him healthy. Okay.
A healthy Tua.
A healthy Tua
potentially could even be top 10.
Me too. I think that as well.
Yeah, I think that as well. He could bump someone out of that top 10 spot.
Yep, I agree. Number 14, Dak Prescott.
No.
This
is maybe a biased thing going on because of my hatred of the Dallas Cowboys.
That'll cost you fantasy games.
It could.
But
I
have the same bias towards the Broncos. There will never be a Denver Bronco on my fantasy football team.
I did have someone from the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even remember who I had. Maybe it was a tight end or something. I don't know. I've had some Cowboys on fantasy teams before.
Sure.
You know,
I won't do it because I won't.
It's tough.
I won't ever.
It hurts my soul.
Even when Terrell Davis was playing, even when I don't know who else was great for Denver during fantasy football. I don't even know.
Peyton Manning was there. You wouldn't get him as a quarterback.
That's true. Yeah, nope, I wouldn't. And they've had some wide receivers that have been good, but
and they had good defenses. You wouldn't pick up their defense.
Nope, I would never, ever, ever, ever have a Denver Bronco on my fantasy football team because I don't ever want any type of fiber of me rooting for a Denver Bronco.
Yeah.
No fiber of my being will ever root for a Denver Bronco. Now, will I have a Kansas City Chief because I hate them almost as much? Yeah, I will have a Kansas City Chief. I've had Kansas City Chiefs before, and I hate them not as much as the Denver Broncos, but I guess there's a fiber of my being that will root for a Chief.
Sure. Super Bowl 2014, back when the Seattle Seahawks destroyed the Broncos. How happy were you?
Very.
Yeah. It's not like you're a Seattle fan. It's just you hated the Broncos so
But
much that you were like, hey, I'm so happy to see them.
I actually have an emotional tie to Seattle, so I actually do like the Seahawks.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
Okay, number 15, Anthony Richardson.
Too early to tell. He has all of the makings to be a decent, and like I said, he's the one quarterback that I'm actually not sold on. And being with the Colts, he might be able to just take a pretty big chunk of that offense,
their
and
offense,
just put it on his shoulders.
And maybe that's what happens here.
So he has everything he needs to succeed right now. I really do think so. I think especially in the running game. Now, the good thing about that is you kind of have a dual threat running game because if Taylor's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the league as well.
Yep.
So you could say that he could be pretty high on that list.
Yeah.
Again,
right.
I'm still not sold on him until he can prove me otherwise. But we're talking fantasy points.
Yeah, talking fantasy, not overall, quarterback ratings and stuff like that. This is fantasy football.
He still could be kind of like Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah.
To me, Daniel Jones is not a top 10 quarterback. Top 10 fantasy, maybe a different story.
Number 16, Deshaun Watson. Now he's
got
to
get back to where he used to be.
He's got a few games under his belt. He came back late last season.
Yeah, I think if he's
he'll have a full training camp.
If he's healthy, if he's bought into the system, then yeah, I think he could even be one of those guys that starts to crack a top 10.
He could.
You never know.
Yeah, if he gets back to any type of form from his Texans days.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he could
for sure. Kirk Cousins comes in at number 17. Minnesota. He's got some great weapons.
He's got great weapons. I'll give him that. He very well could. I actually had Kirk Cousins last year as my bench guy.
Oh, you did?
He was my number 2 quarterback, and I had Joe Burrow number 1.
Yeah.
If I remember right, I think it was him.
And you ended up winning that league, didn't you?
I won that league.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and they carried me.
Yeah.
They
That's
did
awesome.
a really good job.
I love when you get a quarterback and a wide receiver and a high octane offense. Those are things that I look for in fantasy drafts.
They were great.
Number 18, Jared Goff.
Yeah, actually, I think Jared Goff is extremely underrated.
It's going to be all arms. It's going to be he doesn't run. It's going to be all
no, he doesn't
yardage,
run much, but he
yardage.
has some great targets. They picked up some good guys in the offseason. I know they lost a couple, but they picked up some good ones. He's got a good O-line in front of him. He'll pick up a lot of passing yards for sure.
Number 19, Russell Wilson.
No. No.
From the Denver Broncos.
Russell Wilson. How long did it take him to score? It took him like 12 games to score 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no. He's just no.
Not even with new head coach.
No. He has a lot to figure out upstairs.
Yeah.
He's got to get himself right mentally.
I agree. Number 20, the New Orleans Saints new quarterback, Derek Carr.
If he's a big if to me. He's a big if. I would maybe even put Jimmy Garoppolo ahead of him just because he has better targets in Las Vegas than Carr does in New Orleans.
I'll tell you what, nobody gives Jimmy G any credit.
No.
We're going to get to him in a few minutes.
No, but I still struggle with Jimmy G. I'll be honest. I just have a hard time buying into Jimmy G.
Here's the thing, though. Think about it. Before, again, I know he got injured, and that's the knock on him.
He's led teams to Super Bowl.
He has, and before he got hurt, what was his touchdown to interception ratio? It was
good. It was like 17
to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, let's go through 21 through 30, and that we'll call it there.
All right.
Matt Stafford, number 21.
If he's got a healthy team around him,
yeah, Cooper needs to come back, and
he should be all right.
I agreed. Kenny Pickett with Steelers, number 21.
Yeah,
22.
If we're talking in the 20s range, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Bryce Young, Panthers.
Could be. Yeah, why not?
Jordan Love, Packers, number 24.
I hope so for his sake. Being a Utah State guy, I want him to do well.
Desmond Ridder of the Falcons.
I'm surprised he's not higher, if I'm being honest. He still has a lot to learn, but Atlanta is just they're still struggling. They have to prove that they're better.
CJ Stroud, number 26.
Could be
the Texans.
Could be. Maybe.
He's got legs.
He's got good legs.
I mean, they all have legs, but he actually uses his.
When we're talking about football, I know what you mean. Yeah. They all have legs. Come on.
27, Mac Jones.
Yeah, for 27, sure. I'm surprised there's not more running backs on this list at this point, by the way.
No, this is just quarterback rankings.
We're talking just quarterbacks?
Just quarterback rankings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I thought we were talking total fantasy points.
No. Just quarterback rankings.
Okay, just quarterbacks.
Number 28, we finally get to Jimmy G.
That's very low.
Would you? I mean,
just because of the targets he has, that's low.
Because here's the deal. When you're talking fantasy, these rankings, and we did this, we said the same thing with Tua. Don't. This is a healthy Tua. What can he potentially do to Tagovailoa? You said possibly top 10.
Yeah. And I will say,
healthy. And I'm the same way with Jimmy G. I think if Jimmy G, if he stays healthy, if you just look at his targets around him, look at his offense, I think he's top 15 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah. By the way, I'm noticing no Trey Lance.
Yeah. So
no Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, number 29.
Okay, there it is.
Sam Howell, number 30, Washington. Will Levis and Ryan Tannehill, both 31, 32.
Because they don't know who's starting.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield, 33. Kyle Trask, 34. Trey Lance is actually at 37.
Oh, yeah.
Along with Sam Darnold, also 38 with the Niners. So the Niners, again, not knowing who's going to start. Brock Purdy's number 29. Trey Lance, 37. Sam Darnold, 38. Andy Dalton is 35. So those are your your 2023 post-draft quarterback fantasy rankings as of right now. That will change, through mini camps, through preseason, that kind of stuff. But.
Yeah, it'll change. Man, I'm surprised Justin Fields is as high as he is.
I am not. I had Justin Fields last year.
But
and
it's because he runs so much.
Again, we're talking fantasy football, and he does. He runs a lot. So
he doesn't score a lot. He's not scoring a lot of touchdowns, so you're not getting touchdown points. You're getting it based off of yardage.
He actually had a nice number of touchdowns, though.
It's because he's stealing them all from the running backs.
He is. There's no question. I would not want to take the running back of the Bears. I don't want to take the running back of the Ravens.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the running back of these rushing quarterbacks because they steal those points.
Well, Jamal Williams, for example, last year, who led the league in touchdowns, right? And tied the record of Barry Sanders for touchdowns. Or did he break it? I'm trying to remember if he broke it or tied it. I don't remember. But I think he broke it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he straight up just broke it. Anyways, look who his quarterback was, Jared Goff, who doesn't run the ball
exactly, right.
So him as a running back, he's going to get a lot of play, especially goal line, right? If you're in a red zone, he's going to be in there a lot.
Those are just some of those little tiny strategies
to look at
that you need to look at when putting together a fantasy football roster or things like that. And again,
makes you a better fantasy football player.
Like with you,
GM, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like with you, like with what you did last year, I've been doing that for the past 12 years. Is I try to get a high octane offense, and I try to get the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Yeah, if you can go and get Travis Kelce as a tight end, but also get Patrick Mahomes, for example,
right,
or Stephon Diggs, right, in Buffalo,
and Josh Allen,
and then get Josh Allen as well. I mean, if you can get those kinds of tandems, then yeah, you're probably gonna be a little better off.
It hurts at least 1 week of the year when they are on their bye, because now not only do you have
that's true.
Now not only do you have one of your star players out, you've got two of your star players out.
Right. That's true.
But yeah, so those are just some of the little intricacies some thoughts that I put into fantasy football draft.
Good point.
When I'm doing that kind of stuff, I look at stuff like that. I don't want my running back to be behind a quarterback that takes some of those touchdowns away. Those goal line touchdowns. Hate that.
Yeah, it's not fun. Not a good time.
But yeah, we're already talking NFL football. How about that? Fantasy football's coming up.
It's going to be here before you know it.
Way fast.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we're like 3 months away.
Exactly. Not even that far. When it comes to preparing for the draft, the fantasy football draft and stuff like that, we're not that far away. We're only about a month and a half, 2 months.
Real fast.
So yeah, be ready.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, let's take a break. More coming up next.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know. Caden, I just got, right before the show, I got back from a dentist appointment.
Oh.
Just nothing serious. Just had, hygienist, cleaning
and stuff
like that.
Yeah.
The first thing I did when I hopped into my truck was I went into my center console, pulled out my nemesis, but I love it. Chewy, gooey cinnamon bears. So my teeth are just sparkling clean, and I go right to the cinnamon bears. But no, seriously. So I found this. We've been talking a lot about Chat GPT, right?
We have, yeah.
Yeah, we have, because I have fallen in love with it. But here's the problem. Kids, listen up. You can't just write book reports and just copy the Chat GPT. No. Here's what a kid in 7th grade did, okay? So he does a book report on the book, The Joy Luck Club. Okay. 1989 novel, The Joy Luck Club.
All right.
And he writes it all out by hand. So there was a little bit of effort put into it. He pulls it up on his computer, and then he actually
transcribes from the computer to paper.
But there's two things wrong, and the second one is kind of the dead obviously the
error,
dead giveaway. First of all, how many 7th graders are using the word poignant?
I was not. I'll tell you that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither. Okay,
I don't
that
use
aside.
It now. I'm 29.
That aside, and who am I as a teacher to say you don't normally use that word, and the kid could say, yes, I do.
You'd be like, you make a poignant.
Yeah,
point.
Exactly. So that aside, you have to be smart enough to not write down Chat GPT's disclaimer. So he leaves it on there, and this is what it says.
And he handwrites this into the paper.
Yes. The last paragraph, quote, it says, quote, as an AI language model, I don't have personal expectations or opinions. So it's stating that it's AI.
I am AI, yeah.
Don't put the disclaimer on there, guys. Kids, don't do it.
Oh, man.
But anyways, I'm sure this isn't the first, and I know it's not going to be the last, but kind of funny that he writes it all out. I mean, there's a picture of that, too. He writes it all out, and the teacher highlighted the disclaimer.
Kids these days, man.
Oh, boy. Anyways,
man.
Just wanted to share that.
It's so funny because when I was growing up in school, I had the internet to be able to write papers, right?
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are a youngling.
I'm a youngster.
Yeah, you are.
And all my teachers, which, by the way, we're probably closer to your generation, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I was like, well, when I was in school, I had to use encyclopedias, and I had to go to an actual library, and that kind of stuff.
We did, though, Kaden.
I know you did.
Okay.
And
this
so,
isn't like walking uphill both ways in snow.
yeah.
We actually did have to
all
go.
I'm saying is I never took it for granted that I'm like, great, I have the internet, right? So I thought it was great. And now I'm looking at kids nowadays, and I'm like, you guys can just use AI to write your papers for you. Like, man, I had to go Google all of this stuff, and you're just letting AI Google it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so even me, I'm now looking back being like, man, you guys have it way easier than I had it. I had to actually use my fingers and Google stuff.
Yeah.
I still really can't compare it to people who actually had to go through and read through book after book after
Oh,
book.
my gosh.
Don't get me wrong. I still did that. I still spent many hours in libraries, but
Yeah, that's
kids, man, you guys have it easy with AI nowadays for school.
so funny how it's so true where the encyclopedia business, I mean, is that even a thing anymore?
Weren't there like door-to-door
Yes, there were.
encyclopedia salesmen?
Yeah, there was a Friends episode one time actually where the door-to-door salesman comes to Joey and Chandler's apartment. Chandler's gone, Joey's there, and he tries to sell Joey the set of encyclopedias, and he tells him how much, and Joey just laughs. He goes, dude, we have 2 lawn chairs as our living room
Furniture.
furniture. You think I have that much money for some books? And he goes, well, how much do you have? And he checks his pockets, and he pulls out this $20 bill, and he goes, oh, these must be Chandler's pants. And he pulls out a $20 bill, and he goes, how much can I get for, a 20? He goes, well, you can get 1 book. And I think he chooses, what does he choose? V. Because he wanted to learn more about something that started with a V. I don't know.
Volcanoes.
Volcanoes were brought up. But yeah. So anyways, just kind of yes, they were door-to-door salesmen that you could actually get encyclopedias from. Absolutely.
Velociraptors.
Yeah,
There you go.
Velociraptors.
Yeah.
So kind of funny.
It's kind of funny. Kind of strange.
Yeah.
Kind of strange. Yeah, well, we don't have those door-to-door encyclopedia salesmen anymore. Maybe we do. I don't know of anybody that does it, though. Maybe someone out there still doing it.
Of encyclopedias?
Yeah.
No,
maybe
stop
someone's out there
it.
still selling encyclopedias.
No, they can't be. People don't read. In
Should I
fact,
go do that in my spare time? See
Well-
if people will buy encyclopedias off of me?
well, it was funny yesterday at the Mayor's Cup. I bought some raffle tickets and I won a few things.
Nice.
And one of them was a book. And I'm like, wait, I don't read. What am I going to do with this book? So I was kind of disgusted that one of my drawings was a book that I am not going to read. I don't even know what the book is. I was so disgusted.
Is it a golf-related book?
I don't even think it's golf related. No, it's not.
That sounds so random.
It's very random.
It's just like, all right, we're giving away. Here's a wedge.
Yeah.
Here's a golf bag.
And here's a book.
And let's see, the winner of Huckleberry Finn, Mark Musgrave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's
You're like,
not even.
what?
I might even appreciate a classic, but it's not even. Yeah. Anyways, it's like a book, and my buddy's just looking at me, just laughing.
Now I'm
like,
curious what the book is. You're gonna have to figure it
I
out.
will.
And let me know.
I'll bring it in tomorrow and try to give it to somebody, but I'll show it to you first.
Yeah. Now I'm curious
Because
what the
I
book
don't.
is.
It's just one of those. I know how to read. Okay, I don't need to show off by reading books. Okay,
Who are you showing off for?
I don't know.
Just
Why do people read books?
to learn more.
Why don't they just listen to the book on? Why don't they just listen to it? Why don't they
Because-
go to the movies?
Well, because maybe the book isn't made into a movie.
Reading is overrated.
I don't think so.
And again,
I
I
like to
don't-
read.
I don't have to show off. I know. I just know what I know how to read.
I know how to read too, but sometimes I just want to know the stories.
I love to.
And my attention span can't listen to stories. Reading them, I
Here-
get sucked in. If I listen to it, I have to be like driving my car where it's like monotonous and I'm not looking at like my phone or something. Like I can listen to audiobooks in the car.
My attention span of reading is the back of a cereal box.
Too much for me. I don't like backs of cereal boxes. It's
Love
not
it.
fun.
I love it.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one. We'll be with you again tomorrow here on From the Bleachers with the Fan Sports Network.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.